The war with Iran is officially over. That is what President Trump told Congress in an official letter on Friday. He sent that letter on the exact day a decades-old law required him to act. That law gives a president 60 days to end the fighting or seek congressional authorization. He did neither. He declared the war finished and flew to Florida. And that is not an opinion. Buried inside that same letter is a sentence that makes the entire legal argument collapse. It is written in the president's own words. Here is what the congressional record shows and what you have not seen reported clearly anywhere. When Trump departed the White House on Friday, a reporter asked him a direct question. Did he plan to seek congressional authorization for the Iran war? "It's never been sought before," Trump replied. "Nobody's ever asked for it before. It's never been used before."
Mr. President, it's day 60. Are you going to seek congressional authorization for...
Well, no other country has ever done it. It's never been, as you know, most people consider it totally unconstitutional.
But the record is clear. In January 1991, President George Herbert Walker Bush went to Congress before launching the Gulf War. The Senate voted 52 to 47 to authorize it. The House voted 250 to 183. In September 2001, President George W. Bush signed congressional authorization for the war in Afghanistan. Congress approved it with one dissenting vote. In October 2002, Congress approved authorization specifically for Iraq. Bush signed it. NBC News reported plainly that Trump's claim that no president had ever sought this authorization was false. The congressional record shows two presidents sought it and received it within living memory. Here is what that costs. Pentagon Controller Jules Hurst III gave Congress the war's total cost for the first time on April 29th. The figure was $25 billion. $25 billion spent on a war with no congressional vote authorizing a single dollar of it. Gas prices in the United States have risen $1.16 per gallon since the war began. The average American driver burns roughly 600 gallons per year. That is approximately $696 more at the pump this year. Congress authorized none of it. But the most important piece of evidence in this story is not what Trump said to reporters. It is a sentence he wrote himself in his official letter to Congress. Trump's official letter to Congress, dated May 1st, contains this sentence. "The hostilities that began on February 28, 2026 have terminated." Those words are in the official letter. He wrote both sentences himself. Here is what appears in the very next paragraph of the same document. "The threat posed by Iran to the United States and our armed forces remains significant." Same letter, same day, same signature. He declared the war over. In the next paragraph, he declared the threat still there. On that same Friday, a United States Navy destroyer was enforcing an active blockade with live weapons authority. This is what the record actually shows. 14 American service members have died in this war. Every American paying more at the pump is paying for a war their elected representatives never voted on. And here's why that matters far beyond this war and far beyond this president. Here is why what just happened to the War Powers Resolution matters more than the Iran war itself. The War Powers Resolution was passed in 1973. Congress had watched Vietnam consume 58,000 American lives without a limit and without a vote. Nixon vetoed it. Congress overrode him. The core principle was not complicated. No president conducts a war for more than 60 days without returning to Congress. That principle held, imperfectly, for more than 50 years. Every president who challenged it did so through lawyers and private legal arguments. None went on camera and told reporters the law had never been used. Friday was different. A president stood before reporters and named a false fact as his legal justification. He then sent a self-contradicting letter to Congress as his official record. The question nobody is asking is this: what does the War Powers Resolution mean when a president can bypass it with a provably false claim? Its power was always political. presidents at least claimed to respect it. That claim ended on Friday. Because the question now is this. Congress returns from recess this week. At least 6 Republican senators have said publicly they want a war authorization vote. Senator John Curtis of Utah said he will not support continued war funding without one. Collins of Maine crossed that line Thursday, voting with Democrats on a war powers resolution for the first time. The Pentagon may need an additional $200 billion. That request has not reached Congress. When that funding request arrives, every senator who votes yes without authorization is making a permanent statement, not a political one, a constitutional one. Will Congress take that vote when it arrives? Or will they watch the war powers resolution become a legal artifact with no meaning? What you just watched is the kind of analysis the record demands. Today, a president declared a war over using a claim the congressional record directly disproves. If that is the kind of intelligence you want more of, subscribe. Zero Static is here every day.